Welcome back to AskTube Insights. Today we're diving into a topic that's very close to my heart. Or maybe it's just heartburn from that $20 street meat gyro. We're talking about why New York, the city that never sleeps, is actually the city you'll never be able to afford to live in. Look, I get it, New York has its charms. The Empire State Building, Times Square, that pizza rat dragging a slice down the subway stairs, iconic. But let's be honest, beneath that thin veneer of charm lies a brutal reality that'll have you saying "fugged" about it faster than you can hail a cab that definitely won't stop for you. So buckle up because this is going to be a wild ride. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more brutally honest insights. Let's start with the elephant in the room, or should I say, the rat in your shoebox apartment, the cost of living. New York, my friends, is the land of overpriced everything. You think you're prepared for it, but you're not. You walk in thinking, okay, I know rent is high, but I'll budget. Then you buy a bagel and it's $7 and suddenly you realize the only thing you can afford to budget for is a one-way bus ticket out of this urban hellscape. Want to experience the thrill of spending your entire paycheck on rent for an apartment the size of a walk-in closet? Well, come on down to New York, where the only thing bigger than the rats are the rent checks. And don't even get me started on the food. Sure, New York has some of the best pizza in the world, but be prepared to shell out a week's worth of wages for a single slice. And forget about groceries. You'll be living off of bodega coffee and ramen noodles just like the rest of us. But hey, at least you can find some solace in the city's vibrant nightlife, right? Wrong. Be prepared to empty your bank account just to get past the velvet rope and into a club where the drinks cost more than your monthly student loan payment. And God forbid you want to take a date out for a nice dinner. You'll be lucky to escape with your credit score intact. So, if you're looking for a city where you can actually afford to live, eat, and breathe, I suggest you look elsewhere. New York is not for the faint of wallet. New Yorkers like to brag about their city having 4 distinct seasons. What they conveniently forget to mention is that 3 of those seasons are just different variations of soul-crushing misery. Winter? Oh, just a casual 5 months of bone-chilling cold that would make a penguin put on a sweater. You'll quickly learn that wind chill isn't just a meteorological term, it's a personal attack on your will to live. Forget about looking stylish, your winter uniform will consist of more layers than a parfait, to the point where you'll be surprised you can still fit through doorways. And then, just when you think you've survived the Arctic tundra that is a New York winter, summer arrives in all its humid, sweltering glory. Imagine a sauna. But instead of relaxing cedarwood, it smells like hot garbage and despair. You'll sweat in places you didn't even know you could sweat, and your only solace will be the occasional blast of lukewarm air from the subway grate. Spring and fall, fleeting whispers of pleasant weather that disappear faster than a rent-controlled apartment in the West Village. You'll get a collective week of mild temperatures, just enough time to unpack your shorts before it's time to break out the parkas again. Ah, New York City traffic, where dreams go to die in a cacophony of honking horns and frustrated screams. Forget everything you know about efficient transportation because in New York, gridlock is less of a traffic condition and more of a way of life. You'll quickly learn that the fastest way to get around is not by car or bus or even by foot, but by sheer force of will. You'll develop an uncanny ability to dodge slow-walking tourists, weave through standstill traffic like a caffeinated urban ninja, and emerge victorious, albeit slightly traumatized, on the other side. Taxis? Don't even get me started. Hailing a cab in New York is like playing a real-life game of Frogger, except the cars are actively trying to run you over and the only reward is an overpriced ride and a possible case of motion sickness. The subway? That's a whole other circle of hell we'll delve into later. But trust me, it's an experience that will test the limits of your patience, your sanity, and your gag reflex. So you've heard the rumors about New Yorkers being rude? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because those rumors are about as true as a $1 slice of pizza. Spoiler alert, it's not true. New Yorkers don't do polite small talk. They don't have time for your pleasantries or your Midwestern manners. This is a city that runs on a potent cocktail of caffeine, ambition, and a healthy dose of existential dread. Ask for directions, and you're more likely to get a withering stare and a muttered "Google it" than a helpful answer. Try to strike up a conversation with a stranger on the subway, and you'll be met with the same level of enthusiasm as a cockroach infestation. But hey, at least you can always count on the soothing sounds of the city to lull you to sleep at night, right? Wrong. Welcome to the city that never sleeps, where the soundtrack to your life is a never-ending symphony of sirens, honking horns, and drunken arguments spilling out onto the streets. You'll quickly learn to sleep through anything, which is a valuable life skill, I guess, but still. Benjamin Franklin once said that the only certainties in life are death and taxes. Well, in New York you can add getting nickel and dimed for every breath you take to that list. New York taxes aren't just taxes, they're a comprehensive financial colonoscopy designed to extract every last penny from your wallet. But don't worry, even if you do manage to escape the clutches of New York's tax collectors, they'll probably find a way to bill you for the unpaid taxes on your coconut farm. Okay, I'll admit it, New York has some damn good food. We've got everything from Michelin-starred restaurants to hole-in-the-wall joints serving up culinary masterpieces. But be warned, all this deliciousness comes at a price, and that price is usually your entire life savings. Remember that $1 pizza we talked about earlier? Yeah, that's a myth. The only thing you're getting for $1 in New York is a suspicious-looking hot dog from a street vendor who may or may not have washed their hands recently. Want to experience the joy of fine dining? Be prepared to drop a month's rent on a meal that's gone in 30 minutes, leaving you with nothing but an empty wallet and a lingering sense of buyer's remorse. But hey, at least you can always drown your sorrows in the city's vibrant cocktail scene, right? Just kidding. Cocktails in New York are basically liquid gold, and they'll leave you feeling just as broke. Ah, the New York City subway system, a testament to human ingenuity, and also a breeding ground for unspeakable horrors. This is it, folks. The main artery of the city, pumping millions of people through its grimy veins every day. It's an experience that will stay with you long after you've left the city, and not necessarily in a good way. Let's talk about the smells. Imagine, if you will, a delightful bouquet of stale urine, week-old garbage, and a hint of desperation. Now imagine being trapped in a confined space with that smell for an hour while being pressed up against strangers who are sweating profusely and probably haven't showered since the last time the Knicks won a championship. And then there's the wildlife. No, I'm not talking about pigeons, although there are plenty of those too. I'm talking about rats. Big, bold rats who are not afraid of humans and will happily steal your lunch right out of your hands. They're basically the unofficial mascots of the subway, and they're here to remind you that no matter how much money you make or how nice your apartment is, you're still just a visitor in their domain. But hey, at least the trains run on time, right? Just kidding. The only thing predictable about the New York City subway system is its unpredictability. Delays, breakdowns, and signal malfunctions are all part of the daily commute, and you'll quickly learn to factor in an extra hour or two of travel time just in case the subway gods decide to smite you. The American dream? More like the New York hustle. New York City, the land of opportunity, where dreams are made of, and also where those dreams are crushed under the weight of exorbitant rents and soul-crushing commutes. You've seen the movies, you've heard the stories, but let me tell you, the reality of making it in New York is a far cry from the romanticized version peddled by Hollywood. Sure, there are people who come to New York with nothing but a suitcase and a dream, and achieve incredible things. But for every success story there are thousands of others who are just barely scraping by, working multiple jobs, and living in cramped apartments with roommates they found on Craigslist. The competition is fierce, the cost of living is astronomical, and the pressure to succeed can be suffocating. You'll quickly learn that the New York hustle is not just a catchy phrase, it's a way of life. You'll be working longer hours, for less pay, and with more stress than you ever thought possible. But hey, at least you can tell everyone back home that you live in New York, right? That'll surely impress them, even if you're secretly crying into your ramen noodles because you can't afford to do anything else. Welcome to New York City, where every day is a theme park and you're just an extra in someone else's vacation photos. Forget about walking down the street at a normal pace because you'll be constantly dodging slow-moving tourists who seem to have an uncanny ability to materialize in your path at the most inconvenient times. They'll be blocking sidewalks, stopping in the middle of crosswalks to take selfies, and generally wreaking havoc on your already stressful day. And don't even get me started on the selfie sticks. Those things are like weapons of mass annoyance, and they'll be wielded with reckless abandon by tourists who seem to think that the world revolves around their Instagram feeds. Remember that charming nickname, the city that never sleeps? Well, it's less of a charming nickname and more of a terrifying threat. In New York, silence is a luxury you can't afford, because there's always something happening, someone yelling and something trying to keep you awake. Construction noise will become your morning alarm, sirens will be your afternoon soundtrack, and drunken arguments on the street will lull you to sleep at night, or more likely, keep you awake all night. So, there you have it, folks. 10 reasons why New York City is the absolute worst. Or is it? Okay, fine, maybe I'm being a little harsh. New York has its downsides, sure. But it also has a certain undeniable energy, a vibrancy, a certain je ne sais quoi that keeps people coming back for more even after they've sworn they'll never return. Or maybe they're just masochists. Who knows? Either way, if you're thinking about moving to New York, just be prepared for the ride. It's going to be bumpy, it's going to be expensive, and it's probably going to involve at least one encounter with a rat the size of a small dog. So, ready to move? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to AskTube Insights for more hilarious takes on the worst places in America. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.